What I realized was I just came to a point where I'd read so many books and I'd been through so much information, and it just wasn't cutting it for me anymore. There wasn't the substance that I was looking for, but I seem to have found that substance by just spending time out in nature and learning from the elements. When we fast, in my experience, it just gives us this mental time and space where we can begin to bring in new information. And when we do it with a powerful intention, then we're not just bringing in random information, we're actually bringing in stuff that can really support us and guide us. And go through a process of fasting to enliven ourselves more, to make ourselves healthier, which to me, the definition of health is just bringing in more life force. I call it learning through the conscious field of the heart. So it's kind of like you disconnect from the monkey mind and all the chitter chatter. And it's just this direct experience where it's like transmissions of information happen really fast. And then even weeks and months after I finish my fast, I'll have reflections where I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even learn that. And I'll still be pulling lessons out of it. To me, I began to relate to food as information when I realized that this apple, all of it came from a single seed. And when you take a look at a seed from any fruit or any vegetable on the planet, you just sit there with it for a moment and begin to contemplate the fact that in this tiny little apple seed, for example, is stored all the information in DNA to give birth to an entire apple tree that fruits who knows how many apples. And to disconnect ourselves from the earth is to disconnect ourselves from the very umbilical cord of life, which gives us all the nutrition that actually gives us life. So it only is how just spending a bit of time with the elements, with nature, connects us to our own nature. Everything we were before school, before any indoctrination, before any belief systems were taken on by us. It's like that very first point where we just feel like, boom, we're right there.